Hello, everybody. Just setting up and just hanging there. Sorry if just getting all the things together. Okay, so let me also signal that we're live on Meetup. So let me do that. Just give me a second. That takes a second. Okay, we are on. Okay. All right, sorry, as always, and I'm also trying to get some music in the background. Don't think I hear it, so let me know if you hear me and everything. And if you're here, there's nobody here yet, so I'm just gonna wait. Oh, okay. Okay, so just hanging there, just getting everything together. Thank you for your patience again. I don't know why my computer is acting up today. All right, there you are. Hi, Gina Myers. Thank you so much for being here. Just going to give a few minutes to everybody and just setting up. I wish I could hear the music and I'm not hearing it. So just open. Okay. Alrighty. So everybody's getting there. Again, we started late and I'm sorry about that. We may have to do without music because I'm not getting anything. Again, my computer was doing fine and now it's not. So the joy of technology. How awesome. And I'm not techie at all. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Let's see. Looks like the music is playing too. Please let me know if you hear the music. If not, I'll make it a little louder. Yeah, I think there is some music in the background. Okay. Okay. Yes. Chat. Okay. Show chat. Alrighty. Sorry, you're gonna hear me talking. Okay. Hello. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna start. I'm also gonna hit record. I don't know how much of this is being recorded and what shows up in YouTube and what it records. So I apologize if you get all these 5 minutes of blanks in the beginning and not. So today we're doing the Kundalini. Again, I'm doing it a second time because when we were on Facebook, it didn't really work out, and it was. So I felt that I needed to do it again and give you guys some kind of idea, a little bit of a clearer idea, and it's definitely going to be a little bit different. So hang in there, and it's not going to hurt you really if you did it last week and you do it again today. It's really just fine because each one of you will always get whatever it is that you need to get. So for those of you that's going to watch in the future, don't know me, my name is Simona, and Simona Valenti. You'll find me on Facebook, on YouTube, and thank you for watching the videos. There, I see them as a gift, a way to connect with your beautiful angels and beings, and continuing in your progress of the growth that they were all on, and myself included. And trust me, every time I do these kind of things, I learn and experience all kinds of things, and I share them with you, and I love doing that. Let me know, give me feedback if you are having any issues hearing or if there's any interference. Again, it's a lovely journey, and I enjoy very much sharing it with you. So the Kundalini, let's talk about that. I need to show you. I'm going to use a little bit of a drawing, so I'm hoping that I can show you accurately what we're talking about. When I connect with my guys and I ask them to, to show me what we're doing, it's they're showing the Kundalini as a chamber. So I'm going to also draw it so that you can get an idea. And the chamber is a really round chamber. It's like a tube, like about that way, and it's separated in section. And these sections can be many numerous types of section, and they continue to expand, and they really go beyond what is being shown there. So they really expand that way. But the Kundalini channel is just made so that it has many different uh, you know, uh, vibrations within, and that really is one of the key elements that allows to do the work that we do. And for many of you, they're channelers and they're healers and light workers or great workers. Whatever you do, it's a lot of the information is stored and goes in that way. So today we're actually adding two more channels that will just kind of be wrapping around this way like a zigzag, and it will also go up into our third eye. So just kind of wanted to give you an idea. I know it's a funny design, and whatever that is, but it's just to give you a visual and idea of what we're really doing and which way we're really going. So the channel is usually behind the back along the spine. It goes all the way up to the head. So those two other channels that they're wrapping itself around, they are going to merge up and come into our third eye and really connect to the pineal gland and back to, and kind of fuse the two hemispheres of the brain together. Now, the fusion of the hemisphere of the brain will allow for a lot more telepathic ability and telekinesis and abilities that we're usually not used to really be expanded within yourself. So this is a process that, again, because everybody's different, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to get the same thing. And the guys are usually in charge of how much each one of you is getting. And nobody's getting more or less than what it's needed. And it doesn't mean that you're better or worse or in any other way that there's a difference. It's not to form separation. It's actually to protect you, because these are intense. And even myself, after doing this, I experienced intense headaches for 2 days after doing this. And it wasn't necessarily because there was any kind of blockage, but because it was due to the expansion that the energy vibration creates, and the physical body is not always able to go along with that. So, and having said that, tonight we're going to be exploring that, since I feel that it's a great number right now. It's 727, which is one of my favorite numbers, and very auspicious. We are going to get started. Now, I have a cold, so I hope I don't get to sneeze and cough, and I'm going to just for a second. All right, so let's get started. So I want you to find a comfortable place in the home. Find in your home. Find hopefully you're already there. If you can, put on some headphones. That would be great. And go ahead and relax. And we're just going to start by closing your eyes. Now, the other thing that I forget to mention is that we are going to clear actually certain area. And because most of you probably, or some of you already done this, I don't feel that the throat is actually just as involved as it was last time. So it'll definitely be a little bit of a different journey that the one that we did on Facebook, which is great anyway. So it doesn't mean that you're going to get any less. All right, I feel that my left side is actually itching around my eye, so I think it's going to be more to do with any of these things are never to be ignored, because there are always signs of, some things are going on with the group or whoever is going to be watching the future. And the eyes on the left side, especially the eyes, is to do with acceptance, both acceptance of self but mostly acceptance of others, because it's more on the left side. Anything that comes into the right side is actually more to do with yourself, your view of yourself, or maybe another, even if it's due to another person, it's still however you view yourself. Whereas the left and any other things are happening more on the left is to do with more response from others. So other people's energy, you feel more on the left. But it's also to do with creation and with things that we want to create. And the left side being more the masculine side, for me at least, of what it was always shown is the right is the feminine and the left is the masculine. Even if it's the opposite in your world, that's perfectly fine. It's just a reference, so it's not anything to get, all um, upset about, but this is how it's shown to me, and it works really great this way for me. But if it works differently for you and it works fine that way, that's perfect. But anyway, so the left is the masculine sign, and this is where things happen oftentimes right around this area between the shoulder, the neck, and the ear. This is where, if you have a project or if you have any kind of intention of working on anything in your life in the future, whether it's a job, whether it's a move, whether it's to do with a relationship, whether it's you have to make a decision, that's a project too. Decisions are considered as projects, especially if there's decision that change your life. That these decision or these projects or these goals can be interfered at the point of, even though you know it's the best thing for you to do, that it may actually be that you can't make that last step because you have to either check, make sure that you're doing the right thing, make sure that everything is, controlled, or that is being seen as, I have everything under control. And unless I know everything, where it's supposed to go and where it's supposed to be and who is supposed to do what, I'm not going to take a step. So oftentimes that creates doubts and resistance and also friction, which will show up around this area here of the left side. And this is especially with the shoulder and the ear, is like, okay, who am I listening to? Even if it's my own inner voice, that inner voice could be coming from a part of myself that was originated from past experiences, that I may not be that person anymore, but I'm still listening to that. So what is putting pressure that is preventing me from taking actions and moving forward and making things happen? Because the right side is about thinking, creating, finding an idea, being resourceful, figuring out how to move forward. Whereas the left side is the action part, where I'm going to actually implement it and make it happen. So anyway, it was a little bit of a side thing, but I think it was very relevant, and it is relevant to the Kundalini because this is a major area of the Kundalini right here, and it affects, it's very much almost like a bubble when it gets up here around our head, and it involves all our energy centers of the third eye, and which is right here. So anything to do with the sinuses and the throat, the jaw, and our chest is, very much pertinent to what we're doing tonight. Okay, so that's what I feel that is more for us tonight, is going to be more to do with the clearing of certain old beliefs, which I think a lot of you have worked on, throughout the years, myself included. Even today, I just got one little piece to a big puzzle, the last piece, and I was so happy to finally have the ability to see things clearly. That even though it took months, I'm very happy. I'm very patient. I can sit there and just wait until Spirits provides all these little clues until I find the right thing, and everything clicks it together, and everything looks so much different afterwards. So I truly hope and wish that for you as well. All right, so talking. I can get lost. All right, so let's again go back to our journey, close our eyes, and we're going to focus right away into the bringing lots of attention into connecting our third eye to the fifth dimension. So I want you to see as if there is a beautiful tube of energy of light coming out of from your third eye, right from your forehead, and out, connecting to creation, connecting to source. Whatever that source is, if it's God, if it's angels, if it's whatever you want, galactic beings, fairies, whatever your source is, that's your truth, and that's beautiful, and I respect it, and so should everybody else. And we're going to just waiting to feel that connection. I can feel that very strongly. So already we're going into a very, very intense vibrational energy. And this energy already, so you may feel a lot of pressure, because even for me, I feel like there's a lot of pressure right here on the forehead, but that's okay. They're just kind of opening and clearing already that place, that area. I want you to also see the same for the back, because we have our third eyes in the back. It's actually going all the way around. When it's open, it's like a globe, a 360 going all the way around. but the back is often ignored, and this is where we actually hear. Often our angels sit right behind ourselves and or right by our ear, and they're communicating to us either telepathically, which comes in from the back, or from our ears, or from our heart and our heart center of the back as well. So anyway, all right, great. So we're forming a beautiful energy line that goes up to source from here. So it kind of looks like a flame, you know, a flame will look. Now we're going to have another energy coming out from our ears, again connecting to source. So we are kind of making these flame points. Beautiful. So we're just going to do that. And we're going to also have one from underneath our chin and the base of our neck, between the shoulders, the neck, between the shoulders and the base of the skull. Another point of energy there. So it's starting to really look like a bit of a flame. Beautiful. You're gonna hear me burping here and there. That's how I clear energy. If there's any energy to clear, that's the way it goes. Okay, right where all these points of light are meeting, and once they reach source, which is already there, we're gonna form a torsion field, which is like a donut, is spiraling energy that goes around this way, but also goes from the inside out and recirculates itself, or recycles itself. So it goes from the inside out. Okay. And this is going to intensify and starts going faster and faster. It's right above our heads. And because it's spinning in different ways, the energy is going both inward and outward at the same time. And we're going to see, yep, that's coming. It's going to come right back down to us through the top of our head. And with this, we're just clearing. I can feel it goes right through our body. And it's going right down past the throat, down through the digestive system. Okay, if you feel any yawning or any of the physical expressions of your body, it's just an adjustment to the energy and the vibration and new beings stepping in. So because we're connected to source, there's all kinds of beings here. So beautiful, beautiful galactic major beings. There is some really big ones. And I also see a couple spaceships. Where I'm at right now, there's actually a couple spaceships right above our heads, and they're also connecting with you. Yeah, so if you're starting to have difficulties feeling a little lightheaded, that drowsy, or difficulties with your eyes open, that's okay. That's just the intense vibrations that these beings bring in, and they may affect your vision, your senses a little bit. They get overwhelmed, but that's all right. So you're doing great. All right, so we're just gonna, now that it's kind of, this has gone through you, and I can feel it's already going, spreading out into the back, and also, or the back of our beautiful wings that we have. And so just want to focus on your wings for a second, and they're really nicely open. We all have with these beautiful energetic wings, and I can see that we have some members of the dragon family as well as the fairy family. And I do see also some family of Merlin. They're here as well. And if they're not here right now, they're going to be here in the future. Those are going to be watching later. And also see the mermaids. But we also have some beautiful archangels, and also some throne people, which are higher than some of the hierarchy of the archangels. Even though I don't necessarily go by that, I know that this is meant for those that need to hear this. You feel a recognition, and it may just feel, the recognition may feel physically like a tightening of the chest. So at this point, your family and those that are familiar with you, meaning that you've been one of those beings in a past life, they're actually coming in and connecting with you at this time. And that's important because we're retrieving some some of our past abilities that have been laid dormant with you right now. Again, Kundalini is very, very, very serious stuff. So this is not, we're not doing this just because it's fun, okay? And you shouldn't be doing this just because it's fun. This is serious. And it's to really allow ourselves to connect with that part of ours that we're ready to really open up to, especially in gifts wise, abilities and psychic abilities, which I only see as, to me, that's like saying, it's like that part of me that I didn't know I had. But now we're here to show you that. Okay, so we're going to focus on the root chakra right now, and I want you to, we're going to call in, I know that both Metatron and Isis, she usually works with Thoth, but tonight she's working with Metatron, and he's a huge, 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 huge being. He's the voice of God, I believe, or the don't remember right now. Right now, he's coming in as the voice of God. So he's getting his energy for him today, or her, whichever way you want to see it. They really um, no sex. Okay, so we're going into the root chakra, and we have these beautiful beings, and I can see that they are flooding ourselves with beautiful energy in the root chakra. Oftentimes, we are not aware of the fears. And when I use the word fears, I don't mean like fear of heights or fear of spiders or fears of, things that they're actually there. I mean fears that may be disguised as doubts. Fears can feel like, definitely like doubts. They can feel like, uncertainty. They can feel like emotional distress. You may not always know that actually it's a fear of something, of often of like, of not being loved, of not being recognized for who you are, not feeling like your self-worth, not being worthy of another. Whatever those emotions, even if it comes up as an emotion or a feeling, there's always a fear behind it. It isn't necessarily you today at your age. You could be whatever age you may be, but it's definitely a part of you, and oftentimes a younger version of yourself, often younger than 10, younger than 12, younger than 18. Those are the major years that usually involve with us. So when we actually go in and shed some light to these areas of like the root chakra, it's really to bring that to light. And even as I was saying before, that last piece of the puzzle for me, it really was to show me something about myself, a fear of mine, that even though right now, as in my age right now, I may not necessarily believe in that, I still operate with the limitations that that belief that was created that back then, the fear was actually that is still dictating who I am today. So it's a process that can take a long time, and you should be, I'm more than happy because it's always such a rewarding feel when you get to that point. So please take your time, because once you do it, it's like doing it just that one time and then you're done. You don't have to do it again. So uh, again, sorry for the ramblings, but it's important. I believe that everything that comes out is because it's intended to for the ears that are listening to. So I can see the Metatron has his hand to the side of our pelvis, and Isis is actually flowing energy, and it almost looks like lava, very hot lava, which is great. And Metatron is giving us a golden lotus to sit on. And again, this is to infuse energy within this root chakra that is often closed up, or at least clogged by things that, again, are been sitting there for a long time. Great. And at this point, I just need you to tell yourself that you allow for whatever discovery you may need to do at this point. Perfect. There's a second part we're going to do in a little bit, so just stick with that. Just waiting to feel that all the energy is where it needs to be. And when I hear that we can move over, we can move over. Okay, great. Okay, so at this time now I'm going to have you start the journey, and we're going to use the forest again. So it's not as important to feel the moss. They want you to feel sand today. So feel as if you're walking at the edge of a shore, of a lake, or of a sea, whichever one you want. The sand can be whatever color you wish. Feel yourself walking on the sand, and either you can walk on the sand as sunset or as sunrise. You pick. The sand is moving. So as you're walking, they want you to really pay attention to the moving sand. Sand is not stable. You can put it in a container, but it shifts as you move it, just like water. And sand is not a stable ground. It isn't anything you can build anything on top of. If you build a building on top of sand, it would actually eventually fall because it doesn't have stability. So they want us to walk on sand and ask ourselves, as we're walking on sand, what parts of ourselves are we not certain, and what part of ourselves have they been built on sand, and they can easily come down. And the way we know that we are, we have a part of ourselves that is on sand is it's usually evidenced by how easily buttons can be pushed. So if there's an easy button, within yourself, that pay mind and attention to that. Right now I can feel that they're bringing everybody to the awareness of those easy buttons. And again, that's been built is because it's been built on sand, on something unstable. And usually those unstable feelings are things that were created by fear or by misunderstanding, oftentimes by things that we misinterpreted, that we made assumptions on, or that it was the only way for us to see at the time how to protect ourselves. There you go. That's the biggie. Whenever we choose a certain truth, whatever we choose to see, it's usually for self preservation, to save ourselves, to protect ourselves. So, safety is a huge thing. So, how safe do you feel about yourself, about your decision? How much do you trust yourself? How much do you feel that you can keep yourself safe? Oftentimes, when we focus so much on someone else's, you don't love me enough. You don't show me how much you love me. I really need you to show me how much you love me. I need to feel safe. I need this. I need that. Those are when the focus is more on another person providing that in order for us to feel better about ourselves. But in the moment we lose that's gone, and then it's back at being not feeling good. So that's never a safe thing to do. That in order to really feel safe, in order to really feel the worth and of ourselves, and in order to really feel the trust, we really need to rely on ourselves for that. So how do we do that? By finding these quicksands, these sands that we have built this false belief on top of, and oftentimes they've been there for such a long time we've forgotten why they're there, but we still believe in them and we still use them. So let's go in again, and I want you to just really, as you're walking and taking steps on these sands, to kind of feel what is it that you are walking on. Pay attention. They may show you some images, some quick thoughts may come up in your mind, some quick emotions. And if you're not seeing anything right now, that's okay, because in the next few days, about 5 to 10 days, they're going to keep showing you. We're always shown and given opportunity to see what it is that we're supposed to see. It's often us to resist the seeing, because it may take us a while to understand that we are being shown something, that it may just be that has nothing to do with us, or that it's irrelevant and we're not making the connection. So pay attention to things, because usually it's always being shown to us. So I feel that we can actually move on from this right now, and whatever you've collected and gathered, keep with you. This is to increase that awareness, and again, it's connected to the root chakra from your feet. And I want to allow for all this stuff that want you to allow for all this knowledge to come up from your feet, up all the way through the legs, through the hips, through the root chakra, up to Kundalini chamber. Yep, there you go. And past whatever block there may be, and just up through the back and into our awareness, which is our third eye. So I want I'm waiting for that because it's important to allow ourselves that even if we may not necessarily know or necessarily be okay to be aware, if we give permission to be aware, they will make sure that we find out. And sometimes it's just crystal clear. Sometimes it may come from another person and just smack and just, come and say it right up front. And it's really funny when I ask for that, and they never fail. So be open to receive these beautiful information about ourselves and the quick signs that we have in our life that we still use. Okay, great. So now we're shifting from this end. I want you to walk away from this place and walk towards this beautiful body of water. And we're not anymore into either sunset or sunrise, but we are under a full moon. Again, we are going to explore a little bit the sides of ourselves. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. They are sometimes hidden from us. And I want you to see the reflection of the body of this moon on the water. And just stand over there, just accept or receive blessings. And start seeing that there's all these beautiful beings that are going to come down and surround this beautiful angelic being. They're going to bring so much light. You can still see the reflection of the moon into the water. And when you're ready, just dive and try to dive in right into the reflection of the moon if you can. And go under this beautiful water that is going to purify us and remove some of the blocks that I feel they're more around the left shoulder, right between the shoulders, a nice big block for people there tonight. Or at least there's an imperfection, like a different frequency, or some people may call it friction. Yeah, like, yeah, and now it's moving down. I can feel it going down. Great. All right, perfect. Keep swimming into the water. And at this time, we're going to do the same thing that we did last week. And this is a good time to going to show you what it is that you've been working on throughout the year 2016, what it is that you need to be proud of, that you need to recognize of yourself to increase your self-worth. They also want you to see the healing that you allowed this past year to come through. And also the changes in perception. I can see that there's been many changes of perception, many layers being removed from our eyes. What is it? All this work that you've done on yourself, they want to show it to you so that you may feel this sense of fulfillment and happiness and joy that it's not something that it did happen, and you did make great progress. All of us did. And it's not because we have to make these progresses or because we need to make these progresses. We're already perfect, and on a soul level, we are perfect beings and fully evolved and, doing just fine. But we're here to experience these kind of things. So to us right now in this reality, this is how it's being shown. And this is what we have to work for. So allow yourself to see, just swim very nicely and very softly. And just through this past year, 2016, we're not going to focus on the negativity. We're only going to focus on the things that really provided growth in all ways. And right before the end, we're actually going to get little bit of a glimpse of whatever it's going to be like for 2017, and really like at least get a glimpse of an image of a part of ourselves in 2017. This is a good time. There's going to be, I can already say there is a beautiful being holding a golden sack, like like Santa Claus sack. And whenever you're going to be swimming by, they want you to drop a letter of whatever it is that you want to accomplish in 2017. Whatever it is that you wish to have, what you wish to work on and continue, working towards for the next year. So that's really good. And I wanted to also just kind of really focus on understand what it is that makes you feel better, and really bring it forward into the this in the new coming year. You can put whatever you want. You can put as many as you want. Take your time. If it is healing in any sense of the word, just keep bringing it forward. You have a long list, do it. Long lists are great. Don't even have to worry about being careful about what you ask for because it's going to be catered to you. So they know better. I like to put that clause in because at least I don't have to stress too much about how I word it since we're such great creators. Okay. All right. At this point, now that we're ready, they're going to be taking that away from us and we're ready to just come out. And when you come out, there's going to be a beautiful being waiting for you to come out of the water. They're going to give you a beautiful robe. Again, you have graduated and learned some really beautiful and amazing lessons, and you're such a beautiful and amazing being at this time that they really want to recognize that for you and bringing that beautiful recognition to you. Excuse me. Okay, and now that that's done, there's going to be a throne or a chair that they're going to want you to sit on. And at this time, I'm going to call in on God. We're going to be bringing this beautiful energy coming in and to start attaching the first chamber, which I feel is going to go into the left side. And they're always attach it to the root chakra, so to the seat of your soul, to wherever you're sitting on. I'm going to start from the bottom and start wrapping around the whole your old Kundalini chamber all the way up to the back, and then bringing it to the front and attach it to the forehead. So again, you're going to feel a lot more pressure around this area. Okay, great. This is really what they're saying is that there is an enormous amount of telepathic ability connected to the left side, to this left chamber that is being added on. And that, this needs to be passed on and needs to be seen and done because in the future we are to be communicating more. We already are communicating more telepathically, but really to enhance it to exponentially. And that's also going to allow for us to discern or start seeing less and less of the barrier between our main five senses and the all other senses, the psychic senses we also work with, and really making that veil much thinner and bringing it down into a much thinner sense so that it will be easier for us to really see all the things that we can do. All right, so beautiful. So some of you will be able to actually manipulate energy. If you ever want to really try something, when you're outside and there is some clouds, you can both try and use your breath. You can call for the breath of God first, or you can use your hand motion and also still again call for the light of God or the hand of God, whichever one you want to do. That's really, to me, is a reference to the highest vibration. It's not necessarily, however you want to interpret it is for you to do. For me, it works wonderful, and you can actually, this chamber will help you with really experiencing that a little bit more. But anyway, with the breath of God or the hand of God, you can actually move wind, create wind, or move like clouds or the weather, and really alter that. And that's a great way to manipulate, to at least start learning and seeing the manipulation of energy that we actually are able to do. Or the other way to do it is when you go walk into a room, if there's a lot of people, and you're one of those beautiful empathic people who can really feel and read the energy as you walk in a room, that you can actually change it just by using the breath of God and just blow beautiful love all over and transmute that energy throughout. And that's, so I do that motion because it really does feel there's a gentleness in it, just the act alone. And I sometimes just do it very quickly and it works just beautifully. So if you want to try and do that, this left chamber helps you really see more this connection to this part of yourself and how you can manipulate energy. After all, telepathic abilities is a manipulation of energy as well. All right, now we're ready to move on to the third side, and to the right side and the third chamber, which again is starting from the root chakra and coming up from the right side and still winding around all the way up to the back of our brain. And again, as it comes in, it's fusing, and this two brains infusing all the channels together at this point right here is important for that to be, and also is expanding more and creating like a rainbow energy around like a halo around our head, and go inside into the third eye. And this side has more to do with creativity or with creative side. So that's to do with your third vision or third eye, as is known more commonly, but for me it's a third vision. And that also is connected to telepathic ability, but it's also to do again with the creative part of ourselves. And so where are the areas that you need to be more creative, whether it's creative thinking, creative writing, creative in anything, and that stimulates your third eye and your psychic ability to really open up and bring more focus. This is also the healing side, so bringing in healing energy. Oftentimes a healer will manifest beautiful healing ability through, again, manipulation of energy, whether through the hands or through your words, through sight, or through whatever it is, the mean of the pathway that you choose. This is to enhance that part as well. So now that you've been willing and able to receive and allow it to receive, I want to see what we need to do next. I just want to be sure that this is all done. We're going to increase a little bit the opening of the pineal gland as well, because we need to do that. So again, if you the cold that I got is also as a result of doing last week, so it's likely that you may end up with a cold as well too, especially if they're really opening that part a little bit more. That has to do with the pineal gland and your third eye, and also again the layers of that has to do with perception. They also need to go. The more the stuff you get rid of, the more room you make for your true self and your true psychic ability to come out. And this is absolutely perfect. Okay, so we're just going to be getting a little bit of a blessing. And again, they're just wrapping ourselves up with beautiful energy using both our wings and also a layer of this opalescent energy that feels very much from the unicorns. So we're just getting a beautiful wrap. This wrap is to allow for other energy not to interfere, because these are intense processes, and other energy, especially since many of you probably will be going to work tomorrow or may interact with other people, and we can't always isolate ourselves until we're ready to just come out and deal with everybody. So these wraps are to preserve the energy and keep it pristine until the process is complete. Okay, great. All right. So having done this, now there is one last little blessings that we're going to do with both Mother Mary and Archangel Raphael. And this is to bring whatever healing it is needed into your life, and whatever respite that you need, and those for other. I'm just going to take a moment to send out beautiful love and light and blessings to everybody, especially in the form of physical illness. And this is to really communicating to those in need on a cellular level, DNA level, speaking to the physical body, and sending out a command to bring healing forward at this time, and or reset things to a healthy spot. Just taking a second, message is going out, and if you're thinking of someone at this time, it's actually great, because this energy is going to go to them as well. And it's almost like a chain reaction. So whoever hear this, and if you think of someone, it's going to go right to them. You can do it yourself too. It doesn't take much to do these kind of blessing and sending. It's like setting an intention, like a ripple effect. It will start spreading out. So they wanted to do this, and you are the vehicle for this. So I thank you so much for participating and for being the vehicle as well, as much as I am. All right, so now in order for you to, again, there's going to be a little bit of, not warnings, but, if you run into any kind of issue, just send me a message, hit me up. You can find me pretty much on everything, so all the social media, and I have a website and Facebook and here as well. So the things that you may experience, as they're saying, is mostly headache or pain around the head, the base of the head and the neck, around the shoulders. You may get hip pain, but I don't feel that that's just as much. But if you do, it's just because as the energy is working through to remove these blocks and these emotion, as I told you when we were walking on quicksand, they were trying to evidence what it is that you may be still walking on or using that is not it's not stable. So there needs to be changed and changed into a favorable way that allows you to have more stability, and that will actually, the physical pain is also there to help you see in which areas of your life you actually have that. So our bodies are beautiful and they speak to us all the time. And one of the ways they speak to us, it is to physical expression of pain and illness. And it's important for us to learn to listen to that. All right. So again, I'm here if you need me, and sending you lots of love and light. I so enjoy being here with all of you, and I thank you so much for watching this and doing these meditation journeys. I love to hear feedback, whatever it is, and if there's any subject that you're interested in that I have not done yet, please feel free to message me again too with those suggestions. I'm gonna be. I'm open to anything. All right. So sending lots of love. Take care and have a good night.